God, I hope they don't get mad at me. And when I say they, I mean our viewers. But you know what, folks? It's time for you to put your big boy and big girl pants on, okay? And accept that some of this is your responsibility. Let me rephrase that this is your responsibility, not some of this. It's your responsibility to protect your own damn interests.
All right, Dad. My Instagram DMs, I talk about them frequently here on this show. I am at Chefska. My dad is at RAS. Raz is ISJAZ. Raz is Jazz. Got this in my DMs this morning. Hi. I don't know if anyone is going to read this or if you're able to help me, but I have. But here we go. I have found a dealer on the YAA website. You can search for cars, ad-free, lead gen free on joinyaa.com, selling cars at MSRP. That's great. That's Honda dealer in New Jersey, Phillipsburg, Easton Honda. I drove there, discussed the price, asked to put $500 as a down payment, which I did. That happened on May 27th, 2022. They said the car would be there in 8 to 12 weeks. Towards the end of that 12-week period, they said they couldn't order the car from Honda, and it'll take another 18 weeks to get the car, December 20th of 2022. I told them that if that's the case, I'd take my deposit back and look for another car from another dealer. The salesperson agreed. I called the salesperson a couple more times to make sure I can get my deposit back. He even said I wouldn't have to drive there. They'd send it to me. On the day that I bought another car from another dealership, give me a second here. I'll pull this up. Do you have a sense of where this is going?
My guess is he didn't get his $500 back.
The salesperson to get my deposit back. He said, I'll get it done and get back to you. He called me 2 minutes later and said, quote, you can't take your deposit back because the paper you signed says the deposit is non-refundable. And he added, I don't remember telling you that you can get your deposit back, which he did more than a handful of occasions. I called the manager and the manager said it's between me and the salesperson. The manager doesn't take any responsibility of what the salesperson promised me. They didn't get my car. They didn't order it. They can't even order the 2022 model anymore. Is there any way for me to get my deposit back from these people? I left reviews on Google. Somehow they made it invisible for people to see. I filed a complaint on the BBB. Another with a Honda itself, with the Honda corporate itself. I haven't gotten anything yet. And the final piece to all this is I do, and this gentleman understands. He signed a piece of paper. Let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up. We can all take a peek. This is what he originally signed, and it says down here, deposit non-refundable unless noted. And it's nowhere noted. It's absolutely nowhere noted, and he understands that. I do think that this is still you got to be kidding me, because they couldn't get the car for 36 weeks. Like, let's just let that sit in for a second. For more than half a year, they couldn't get the car. So he went somewhere else to buy the car. And that is the response with regards to, well, can I get my $500 deposit back? What's your reaction, Dad?
Well, my reaction is A, you should always make sure when you leave a deposit that you sign a form that says it is refundable, so that you don't have to go through this. So you don't have to do a he said between the salesperson, you, and the manager. The manager sounds like, he's weaker than Circus Lemonade in the sense that he doesn't even want to try and manage keeping a potential or now lost customer somewhat happy. Thirdly, if I was this customer, I would contact the dealer principal, find out who that is, and see if we could have a conversation with that person. I would then ask, okay, if you're not going to refund me the money, then give me a $500 credit that I could use at your dealership any way I want, whether it be for parts or service or accessories, whatever, so that when it's time for service, even though I wouldn't really want to do business with these people, I can at least get some value out of that $500. And the dealership is being so short-sighted to take a situation like this and punish the customer, even though the customer signed the document that said that the money wouldn't be refundable. It's no way to operate your business when you're not placing any type of special order. You're looking for an allocation at this point from Honda. It's not an order. You can't order a Honda. You can request through your allocation, through your zone office, that they try and match your customer's desire with an allocated vehicle. So it's not like it's a special order. It's not like you're going to have to sit on this vehicle if and when it ever comes in, for you to turn around and sell it. It's just a cheap ass money grab that you don't need to do. You know, this Honda dealership is, if they're like most dealerships out there today, they're making more money than they ever have profit wise. Okay. The profits at dealerships today are higher than they've ever been, even though they're selling fewer vehicles. Okay.
Yep.
If the cost to obtain a customer through advertising, marketing, and other means is in excess of $500 to obtain one, okay, and it probably is,
Yep.
why would you want to lose one over $500? How is that a good $500 investment on the dealership's part? Doesn't seem like it would be to me, but then again, what the hell do I know? I never owned a dealership. I just managed them.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect example, Dad. This is one of the better. Really, you've got to be kidding me, because it's on both sides. You can make you can make a great case for as a customer. And there's comments here in the chat, and I see them here. It says something. Where was it? Why do people never read the bottom line? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. The small print, you got a great case for that. 100%, you got a great case for that. And as consumers, we need to be advocates for ourselves and not just think that things are going to fall in our favor, especially when you're at a car dealership. And I hate to put that emphasis there, but then you see what this dealership is doing in this scenario. And there's another comment here, Dad, that I also think kind of sums it up nicely from Jeremy. After 32 weeks, they probably just misplaced the money.
Oh, right. I'm sure they could find it.
It's been half a year. Okay, so as a dealership, did I hold up my end of this piece of paper I was signing? No. Is it a terrible look for me to just have $500 from a customer and I gave them absolutely no? Of course, it looks stupid. It's terrible. You know, I hope that this video gets a little bit of traction so that this customer has, you know, a little bit of, knows that they have support. But it's on both sides of the spectrum here. Yes. And if you're going to go order a car in the near future, you've been watching our videos, if you've got, you've been listening to the podcast and everything, this is the type of crap that you didn't have to worry about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, even last year. But this is the reality of buying a car in today's world, is you should not sign something that says the deposit's non-refundable. You can sign a purchase order saying what the buyer's, the buyer's order, what the agreement's going to be. But this type of stuff can happen.
Well, it not only can happen, it does happen. And, it goes back to part of what I railed against last Monday in that there is a certain responsibility that falls on the customer's shoulders. And as the customer, you have to accept and embrace your responsibility when it comes to buying a car. So you need to read everything. You need to question everything. You need to have everything spelled out so that you don't find yourself in this situation. And you need to realize that whatever is said or allegedly said between you and the salesperson means nothing. If it's not in writing, it means nothing, because you know what? The salesperson is going to say, I never said it. You're going to say, yes, she did. Okay. And a court or anybody else would say, okay, prove he said it. Well, if you don't have a recording of it, you don't have any proof of it. Okay. And you can't say, well, yeah, but I'm telling you, told me 3 or 4 times. Doesn't matter. You've got nothing. You need to have things in writing. And there's a reason for that, because writing is when that cements a contract. It describes and in detail what the terms are of that contract between you and the dealership. Okay, I mean, it would have been simple to write on that if the dealership is unable to provide me with a vehicle in pick the amount of time you want to give them within 4 months. Then my deposit becomes refundable if I choose to cancel my reservation. There's a way to protect yourself. Put a time limit on it. I'm about, as you know, to have my kitchen remodeled. I signed a contract. There's a start date and an end date. There's a time limit. Everything is spelled out in detail as to what their obligations are and my obligations as to when I have to provide them with money. It's incumbent upon you as the customer to protect your own best interest. We'll help you as much as we can, okay, but you still have to do it.
But I do want to call out, because I 100% agree with you, and that's why I brought it up on today's show. And Cycling Banana says, well, why YAA follow up with this guy? He got the recommendation from you guys. Absolutely. You can search for cars on any dealership on our website. Doesn't mean it's got our endorsement. I would be very clear about that. That's why we have our premium member services. You can work with our team. We can make sure that you're going to a good dealership. Will we follow up with them 100%? DM us. That's why I brought it up on the show today. But
it's not our job to follow up with the dealership on his behalf. Okay. We can help guide him, but it's not our job. Okay. We don't say anywhere that the prices quoted by the dealerships out there, when we scrape their websites to see what their inventory is and what they're asking for, we don't say anywhere, hey, yeah, we guarantee those prices. No, we don't guarantee those prices because, hey, they're car dealers. We know that the prices are probably illegitimate to begin with. And we've spent 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, trying to prepare people to know what the hell they're getting into. Okay. So it's God, I hope they don't get mad at me. And when I say they, I mean our viewers. But you know what, folks? It's time for you to put your big boy and big girl pants on, okay, and accept that some of this is your responsibility. Let me rephrase that this is your responsibility, not some of this. It's your responsibility to protect your own damn interests. We can help guide you. Okay, but we can't make you do it. You have to do it. You have to get educated and you have to apply that education. It's on you. It's not on us. It's not on the dealership. It's on you. So, yeah, I appreciate, well, he got the information from our website. We should stand up for him. Yeah, we'll tell him what he should do. We'll give him suggestions as to how he can try and combat it. But damn it, it's his fault, not mine, not Zach's, not the dealerships. He shouldn't have signed the damn thing.
Calm down, Pops. I wasn't accusing you. All right, here's the deal.
It seemed like it.
David's got a great point. When I was a manager, my directive was that we did not make a living of keeping deposits. We made it selling vehicles. Intelligent car buying. It's too bad this dealer has to resort to unclaimed deposits as a profit line on their financial statement. 100%, 1,000%. That does not mean that these things aren't happening and that we need to bring light to them. And I want to just, go ahead, Pops.
Well, I was going to say, when I ran dealerships, I used to say, if the difference between us making a profit or not making a profit is me keeping the deposits from people who didn't read when they left the deposit, well, then I screwed up well before the end of the year by either not selling enough cars or not holding enough profit on the cars that I sold. Deposits are not what makes the dealership profitable. We had a form, if I may, at the mini dealership that explained everything when it came to a deposit. If it was an ordered car, okay, and on minis, you can order them like a million different ways. So, I mean, it was very specified, very specific as the way we ordered it. And once it went into production, that meant that your deposit became non-refundable because there was no guarantee that another person was going to want that mini the way you build it. Okay. Yep. If it was a dealer trade that we were getting from another dealer for the customer, once we picked that vehicle up, that deposit became non-refundable, and it was spelled out. And if you decided to cancel your order prior to us either picking that up or your vehicle going into production status, we would gladly refund your money. And if you didn't take the car after it came in, we would give you a credit towards any other vehicle that you wanted to purchase from any of the dealerships that we ran. so that you would at least get something for your money. And that was spelled out on a form that everybody had to sign when they left us a deposit. That was part and parcel of the package we put together when we ordered a vehicle or we were taking a deposit on a vehicle. It's not hard to spell it out. It's not hard for the customer to ask for it to be spelled out. I'll be good now.